Hi students, this video is going to provide an example as to how you annotate a poem. In our upcoming classes, you're going to need to annotate several poems, both individually and in groups, during both activities and assessments. So it's really important that you view this video and take notes. You can either take notes by writing down exactly what's in this video as an example that you can refer to later, or by writing down the steps and directions that you need in order to annotate. But please make sure that you have notes to use in class when we do this over the next couple days. So the form of annotation that we're going to use may seem familiar. It is the TP-CASTT method. You used this method earlier in the year when we analyzed some Irish poetry. So for the TP-CASTT, remember that the T is title, the P is paraphrase, the C is connotation, the A is attitude, the S is shift, the next T is theme, and the last T is revisiting the title. So the poem that we're going to annotate is Success is Counted Sweetest. I picked it because it's a great poem written by Emily Dickinson and because it's of a length that we can get through in about a 10 to 15 minute video. So let's go ahead and get started. So with the T, the first thing that we annotate is the title, and you should really do this before you even read the poem. It'll help you out because it'll provide some context so that you can understand the poem upon its first or second reading. So the title indicates to me that the poem is going to be about, well, how awesome success is. It's calling success sweet. So the poem's going to be about how awesome success is. Cool, easy enough. Next, then I move on to P, which is paraphrase. Remember that paraphrasing is when you put things into your own words and you make sure that your interpretation is literal. Don't read in too deep. Just literally tell me what's happening in the poem. So I'm going to ask that you go stanza by stanza and that you give a paraphrase of each stanza. Please do not just give one sentence for the entire poem. That's not good enough. I need at least a sentence or two for each stanza. So for the first stanza, it reads, "Success is counted sweetest by those who never succeed. To comprehend a nectar requires sorest need." All right, so for success is counted sweetest by those who never succeed. That's saying that those who do not succeed understand success the most. To comprehend a nectar requires sorest need. All right, to understand something so amazing, one must desire it. All right, that's what the first paraphrase or the first stanza means to me. Then I go to the next stanza. "Not one of all the purple host who took the flag today can tell the definition so clear of victory." So my first temptation is to go and look up what purple host means, but not yet. That's what we do when we come to the C. For the P, remember we're just literally putting what the stanza means. So the purple host, I don't know what that means yet. The purple host took the flag and won. I understand that. Therefore, they do not understand success because they have it. Excellent. So then I go to my last stanza. "As he defeated dying on whose forbidden ear the distant strains of triumph first agonized and clear." So in this stanza, a man has lost and is dying. He hears trumpets of victory in the distance. And then this causes him agony. All right. So now I have my paraphrase, my literal first reading of the poem so that I generally understand what's going on. So now we come to this little dash, and that's because we're going to move into the deeper reading of the poem. This is when we start digging deeper into the underlying meaning. So with C, that's connotation. And if you think back to your previous notes about diction, hopefully you remember that connotation is the implied meaning. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the poem and we're going to look for every single literary device possible, and we're going to make note of it because those literary devices are what's going to help us understand the deeper meaning of this poem. So first line, "Success is counted sweetest." That is an alliteration. And this The purpose of this alliteration, I need to note that, is emphasis, is emphasizing the words success and sweetest, so that we know that that is important to the poem as a whole. By those who never succeed. So succeed I would probably also underline because it goes into the alliteration, emphasizing that this poem is going to be about how awesome success is. But also, I want to note that this is a really important contradiction. Which also we can call an oxymoron. Because it's saying that those who understand something the best are those who have never encountered it. Now that's an oxymoron. That would be like saying somebody who understands English class the most is someone who's never taken an English class. We know that not to be true. But here, this oxymoron is actually true. It's a real paradox because it's saying that those who've never experienced success are those who understand its meaning the most. So we have that paradox. Now, to comprehend a nectar, this word nectar is our next device. It's definitely a symbol. And I would say that this symbolizes, it's a symbol for the good things in life. And also, it's the idea that it's what people want the most. Okay? So to comprehend the good things in life, a person needs to need it. So this is an important diction word because this concept of need is going to be important to the theme. All right. So next, not one of all the purple hosts. So now that I come upon these words I don't understand, I'll go online, I'll look them up, and I would find out that it's an allusion to the Civil War. So I know that this is about soldiers who are fighting. Specifically with the purple host who took the flag, that means that we're writing about soldiers who are victorious. Therefore, I know that the soldiers who are victorious are those who actually do not value victory. So again, this extends the paradox that, the paradox shown above, I'm not going to retype it, but it extends the paradox that we've addressed above. Then, as he defeated dying, we have another alliteration, and again, it's for emphasis upon how sad and in pain and destroyed and ultimately dying this individual is. It's emphasizing the state that he's in. On whose forbidden ears. This word forbidden is an excellent example of diction. The word forbidden means the idea that he will never be allowed to experience the concept of success or victory. This makes him seem weak and like a victim. So this adds to the tone of the piece. The distant strains of triumph. So strains also goes with the diction, where it's emphasizing the struggle that the man is feeling, and this is likely because he's dying. Therefore, we know that sound, those trumpets of triumph, are the last sound that he is hearing in his life. So they are his dying sounds. So the distant strains of triumph burst agonized and clear. So this idea of burst, that diction emphasizes kind of the intensity of this realization. But what is the realization? Well, the agonized and clear are also important diction words. What this is saying is that this soldier is on the losing side, which is why the trumpets of victory caused him so much pain, but also causes him to truly understand the meaning of victory. Okay? So now we have the connotations where we've read into the deeper meanings. We've gone through the entire poem, literary device by literary device, and put what the literary device is and why it's there. Purpose is important. If you just put title, alliteration, paradox, symbolism, diction, allusion, not enough. You need to tell me why it's there. Next we go to A, which is attitude, which also means tone. What is the speaker's attitude towards his or her topic? What is the tone of the poem. So, based upon the diction words defeated, dying, forbidden, strange, agonized, clear, I would say that this is definitely a sorrowful poem, definitely regretful, but it's also defining what success is. So it's also very philosophical in nature. Now I have my tone, and I go to S, which means shift. Shift is when there's a major change in the poem, whether based upon time period, point of view, tone, whenever there's a big change. Not all poems have a shift, but this one does, and it occurs here as he defeated dying. This shift occurs here because it introduces our main character. It provides an example of one who would understand success. And it also kind of provides clarity to the readers. So that makes this probably the most important stanza of the poem. Next comes our next T, which is theme. Theme is when you need to sit back and look at the title, the paraphrase, the connotation, the attitude, and the shift, and ask yourself, what is Emily Dickinson trying to teach her readers? What does she want us to walk away with? What is she saying? So I'm going to say that in the poem, the soldier who has lost is the one who best understands victory. This paradox applies to many things in life. Those who have do not value what they have as much as those who have not. Therefore, success is best understood by those who have never succeeded. Okay, so in the theme, kind of summarize everything that I have learned. Next, I go back to the title and revisit it. So when I first looked at the title, I said, how awesome success is. So I'm going to elaborate upon that now that I understand what the poem is about. And so I'm going to write, sweetest is a metaphor for the good things in life that are most appreciated by those who have not experienced the good things. Excellent. So that is how you annotate a poem. In class, you can do it on paper by writing directly on the poem, or you can do it digitally like this by creating columns and putting comments on the side. However, you want to make sure that when you're annotating, you're doing a thorough job, because that is, one, how you're going to be able to write a thorough analysis, and two, it's how you're going to be able to participate in class discussions about the poem and be able to bring up really good things to say. So make sure that you have notes on how to do this, because tomorrow in class you're going to have to use this technique. Good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.